Sessions and Lessons Unscripted.
Let's go.
And now your hosts, Joel and Gloria Rosario.
Hello, everybody. It's me again, Joel Rosario, your host of Sessions and Lessons Unscripted, the podcast. Once again, I almost forgot the name of our podcast.
Hello.
Here at my side, as always, the lovely Gloria Rosario.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
I hope everybody's doing good. How was your day, Gloria?
A blur, and I'm glad it's over.
Okay. I would say mine's kind of the same, although I was pretty productive and I got a lot of stuff done. I'm scheduled to take a few days off, so that's good.
I bought plants. I don't know if you noticed when you drove up the driveway.
Yes, I did notice them when I parked the vehicle in the driveway. There's just plants everywhere. Surprised the cats haven't been in them already.
Thank you for not scolding me.
Yeah, but you know what? The weather hasn't been really cooperating. It's been cold and rainy.
Yeah, it was cold today, but it didn't rain. But I've been busy.
Well, it was
so...
kind of misty and wet.
Yeah.
Like the air was kind of ugh.
But the dirt is perfect though, because it's wet right now. So.
Oh yeah, but
Okay.
I mean, you're gonna go and plant plants and then get struck by lightning. But then maybe that'll be a good thing, because then you'll have like superpowers or something.
Yeah.
And then we can make tons of money.
Yeah.
At the carnival.
So I'll basically.
Yeah, your superpower
I'll
would
be the freak show.
You'd be the bearded lady.
That's my superpower?
Yeah, that would be your superpower. You wouldn't get a cool superpower. You get one of the weird ones.
That's dumb.
You know, now that I mention it, you know what? Okay, and you guys out there, welcome again. Thanks for tuning in and listening to our silliness. But think about it. People out there, X-Men, whatever comic book hero, whatever, there's got to be like runts of the litter, right? So yeah, you got guys that can read minds and they can float and fly. You got guys that got superpowers that could punch through walls. But then there's got to be a guy that like knows how to, I don't know, tie his shoes fast. Or I don't know, just something real goofy, like his fingernails and toenails grow at like super fast speeds. Like that's I don't know.
This is what we're starting with today.
I'm just pulling stuff out of my rear end.
Noted.
But honestly though, right? I mean, there's got to be X-Men that got like
can't all be like superheroes.
No, they can't have like all like this guy knows how to add fast. That's a superpower. His multiplication skills are just off the charts.
Oh Lord.
Right?
I'm rolling my eyes, but yes.
It's like, look at the way he plants plants. Like, he's a super gardener. Look how he digs those holes so fast. And then maybe his superpower is like photosynthesis or something, where he makes the plants grow faster. Like, so he puts a tomato plant in the ground, and then all of a sudden, like an hour later, there's like full-grown tomatoes on there.
You are such a nerd.
All right, I think we should like end it there.
Yeah, please. Do us all the favor.
Yes. Yeah. Well, again, thank you everybody for tuning in. We want to have a little bit of fun here. It's like a bunch of us just kind of hanging out, talking. Like if we were just talking, having a drink or coffee or something. Yeah, we want to tackle some, serious stuff or life situations, but we don't want it to be all kind of dark and gloomy, doomy, It's like we're living in the same world everyone else is. We got to deal. What would you say?
Take a nap.
That's Glow's solution for everything. Take a nap. Which is not a bad solution, I will admit, but I mean, you can't nap your way out of everything.
Yes, you can.
I
Watch
don't know
me.
about that. Tell U.S. Bank that I couldn't pay the mortgage because I had to take a nap. Yeah, see, so it doesn't work that way. That's not how life works.
Oh man.
All right. Well, with that said, Gloria, like I said, Gloria and I, we're always chit chatting, talking, goofing off, whatever. And we were kind of talking about something that kind of, I'm not going to say struck a nerve, but it's kind of important to me because we were sitting one time and we were talking about this podcast and what's the point and why are we even doing this? So I kind of want to touch on that a little bit, if you guys will allow me to. I just want to kind of get into, and I did touch on it before, but I want to kind of um just kind of remind everybody what the whole point of this is. Uh, so I started a blog a while ago because I was dealing with a bunch of life things. In particular, it was a breakup. It was my first marriage, which was a May December marriage. And I won't go into a lot of detail now. So I started the blog and got into writing and journaling, which turned into writing on the regular. And then, so my whole point of the blog was to kind of help people through tough times. And I got pretty good traction when I was doing the blog. And I was, uh, I had a few subscribers. I mean, I wasn't like in the millions, like with some of these influencers or whatever, but I had a decent following and, whatever. And then I know I stopped doing the site for a while. And then I came back to the site. Podcasting was something I always thought about in the background, but I was too afraid to do it. And if you listen to some of these earlier episodes, you can kind of hear it. The more we do this, the more I feel comfortable and I'm enjoying it actually. So, anyways, my whole point was to help people, and when I was young, I felt like I wanted to help people. I always thought people should be kind to each other, and I wanted people to be happy and just get along and not have to suffer, right? I mean, I always felt like I had that calling. And it's funny because a lot of people out there, even you guys listening, I don't know about you, Gloria, but um, especially when you're young, you're like, what's the point of me being here? What's my purpose,
Yeah.
right?
I think that's normal though.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty normal. But of course, you have people, and even in their later years, are still trying to figure it out. And I mean, I guess, and I don't know what your opinion would be. Sometimes you're not, I mean, I don't want it to sound horrible, but you're not, some people are just not made to really do anything, like nothing extraordinary, if that makes any sense.
Mm,
Would you say that? Like, there's people that are just going to have a normal life, quote unquote, right?
yeah, but everybody, and I don't want to sound like, fluffier, but I think everyone lives a life extraordinary in their own way.
Sure.
Not everything is going to be spectacular. Not everything's going to be like, you
Well, like
know,
I'm saying, it's like they're just living normal lives. They're not. I mean, they're not born to be like a preacher or a teacher or a professor or some kind of self-help
right.
guru. That's what I guess
Okay.
that's what I'm kind of getting at.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying too. But that's what I mean. Like, I don't think everyone is like destined to be something, or they're not saying that there's no purpose in their life, right? Your purpose could just be to be a mom or be a good dad or, a husband. You know what I'm saying? Or a
Yeah,
good
but
wife.
it's not necessarily like a diminished thing either. Those are all things to strive for, to be the parent, to be the mom, dad, a friend, a family member, whatever. But I understand what you're saying,
Mm.
but just because someone decides to be like an extraordinary teacher or, doesn't lessen them any more or any less than anybody else.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It doesn't make them like if this person decides, oh, I just want to be, you know, I just want to find a husband and settle down, and that's what I want.
Right.
And then this person like ends up being like you know, a multi-talented musicians that's making $1 billion
Mm-hmm.
because that's what they thought they were put on the earth for. I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
and that just because you're still the same kind of, but I mean, not. I guess I don't know
The same, but not.
the humanity of it.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I would really like to hear people's view on that because I hope I'm making sense. I mean, I don't. Do you think I'm making sense at all or no?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
But anyways, back to the kind of the whole point of what I'm trying to say. I always thought, me personally, I was put on this planet to do some sort of like service or some sort of like help of other people that are going through some stuff. And at one point, I was a pretty religious guy way back in the day. And I was going to get into youth pastoring, and I was going to do, yeah, I was even thinking about becoming a deacon, an ordained deacon.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, can you imagine me with the collar and carrying around like a Bible
Well,
and marrying people?
I'm not really big on religion, so I don't know what a deacon is.
Mm.
What
It's
is
like the
that?
step below a priest.
So you're basically his assistant?
Yes and no.
Oh.
You can do everything a priest does except the sacraments.
Oh.
You can't admit, well, you can give out communion or whatever, but you can't, you know, do the transubstantiation or whatever, or making the blood into, the wine into blood and the bread into his flesh, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's called transubstantiation.
Okay.
Excuse me. But yeah, so I always thought that's kind of what my purpose was. So my life went way off the rails, and it's just been a weird. I've had I would say a pretty interesting life. I know Gloria and I have talked about it a bunch of times, and there's probably stuff I haven't even mentioned. Not because of shame or anything, but just there's just so much, and you figure my life. Everybody out there, I mean, I don't know if anyone listened to any of the earlier episodes. My life really got interesting around the age of 15. I was a runaway. I ran away from home at 15. I shacked up with a woman that was 12 years older than I was. And we ended up in a relationship. And then we ended up getting married. And then I was with her till she passed away in 2016. And yeah, it's been a long journey and a lot of ups and downs. So um I think I've been through enough stuff in life, and even now dealing with life in general. And I know everyone out there, no one's life's perfect. Everyone goes through some sort of struggle, or you know, life just picks at them too much and they feel like they can't handle it. I kind of want to help people through that, or I you know, I think there should be some sort of community, and people should help each other out to make their worlds better. So, uh, so yeah, I mean, I'm a victim of abuse. I'm overweight for reasons. uh, I've been abused, overweight. I've been through loss. I mean, I've held someone that was dying in my arms before. So I've been through some stuff. Uh, and the whole point of this is to, I mean, I'm just, everybody, I'm just a regular dude. I'm a regular guy. I'm not a college educated, whatever. I'm just my whole thing is learning from my life and what I people I've came across, and with the internet and things you see or watch or whatever. I'm just learning things like everyone else, right? I can maybe help some people that aren't uh, haven't find those avenues or don't use those avenues or whatever. But my whole point is to I'm thinking I'm just a regular guy. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a self help coach. I'm not a whatever. I'm just a guy that's willing to listen to you, willing to share my experiences, my stories, and maybe that'll help someone out. And then the rest is history, I guess, for lack of a better term or whatever. So
And this isn't meant to sound like a pity party or anything. It was
no,
just for
absolutely
like
not.
we were just discussing, and brought up the fact, like, what is the end game here? Like, are we trying to make a community? Are we um giving people like advice on how to deal with things? Like, what is the point? Why are we putting our time into this? you know
Right. And my whole thing too is I don't want to be preachy. I'm not. You know what, guys? If I hope everyone gets the help they need and whatever avenue they find or whatever. But I don't want to preach to anybody. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be preachy. And let's face it, we're 100% real here, right? So there's a million places or people you can get all this info from. You can even go on Google and look it up. Like, why am I depressed? Look it up. What can I do to not be depressed? Look it up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, of course, people might need a little more of a push or help or whatever. But my point is, the information is out there. Like I'm for sure not a professional, but I'm willing to listen and I'm willing to help just as a regular guy, right? Like I've been through some stuff. So yeah, you feeling depressed. Yeah, I get depressed all the time. Like I have to take medication for it. Or, you've thought about self harming yourself. Yeah, I've been there, done that. Like for sure. I know what you're going through. Or my spouse died and my life sucked after that and I couldn't get my stuff together. It's like I get it. I've been there. Like, oh man, I was young and I got into all this stuff and I got into trouble and blah blah blah. I've been there. I mean, I know. you know I hope I'm kind of making my point, but I don't want to be preachy, and I want this podcast to be kind of a place where people can just like sit down, just listen, maybe have a couple laughs, even though like we'll touch on other like more serious subjects and like, oh yeah, that's happened to me or whatever. But then I want people to feel comfortable and safe and be like, we can talk about this stuff because a lot of the problem or some of the problem with like victims of abuse and people that go through depression or anxiety, anything like that, they're always hiding it or they can't, they're, it's not treated, Wes, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. um and again, I really need to get this across. Neither of us are professionals in any way, shape, or
Right.
form. you know um Basically, everything that we talk about is things that we've been through, and um
Right. And along, and
how we overcame, and
right. And how we're dealing right now.
right. And it's just
Right.
like with everything that's going on today, with all the stresses, with like, everything just being so overwhelming,
Hmm.
we wanted to make this a little bit more fun and not so like serious and depressing all the time. When Joel started the podcast, it was just him in the beginning. And
Right, and if you notice, the tone was a little more serious,
right.
which was kind of not my intent,
Hmm.
but I
It's
mean,
kind of hard to run a podcast by yourself, though.
well, it is, but at the same time, I mean, honestly, we're still trying to figure it
Yeah.
out. So, I mean, we appreciate everyone who's sticking with us.
Yeah, and thank you guys for, giving us advice and, telling us your stories.
Right.
Whether you're a friend or family member or
Which we have heard some of them, and we will be talking about that stuff soon. So
right. So stay tuned. It's gonna only get better. Like he said, we're starting to figure this out.
yeah,
And balancing our real life jobs
yeah.
with this and everything else that's going on and, all the chaos. It's about balance. And that's another thing we want to talk about, just how
I love when you bring that up. Balance is like
so
a
important.
good word. Yeah,
Very, very important. Because you can't be going at 100 miles all the time. There has to
no.
be time for like
What's that thing wrestling now? It's like all gas, no brakes.
all gas, no brakes. Yeah.
Yeah,
But we just wanted to touch on that subject. Like, what is the point?
right.
And again, we're always welcoming ideas and, your input and feedback.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you feel like we're being boring or, we're monotone or whatever, let us know. That's what we're here for. We're here to serve you
We're not
guys.
here to put you to sleep.
No, that's not our intention at all.
We're here to awaken you. Sounded good though, right?
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, we just want to be ears that are willing to listen, and like, if you want some advice, hey, I mean, I went through the same thing. This is what I did, or this is what I'm doing.
And to us, it doesn't matter if there's like 2 people listening or there's 100 of you guys.
No,
We want to make everybody feel welcome and comfortable and be able to, criticize us and give us input and, all that stuff that comes with it.
well, that and not be afraid to. I mean, you don't have to hide here.
No, not at all.
Like I've always said I'm an open book. If anybody had a question, or if anybody had a comment or anything about what I've said, feel free. I mean, you can't like hide things and then expect to make them better.
No.
If that makes any sense.
Nope. As long as you're repressing things and just putting things on the back burner,
Yeah.
you're not going to move forward.
I was really bad with repressing things, and the more you compound and compound, the worse it gets.
Oh, I'm so good at just bottling things up.
Yeah, I'm the same. Or I
Yeah.
was the same, yeah.
I'm still working on that.
Well, one of my things is that I just don't like drama. I don't like confrontation. I'd rather just keep my mouth shut and just keep doing whatever. And then I'll just suppress it and then eat like a pig later. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because we've touched on this about my
It's gotten
stress.
better though.
Oh, for sure.
It
It's
has
gotten
gotten
way better.
so much better.
Actually, I've been hearing a lot more people like, "Oh, you've been losing weight," which thank goodness. But so I'm going in the right direction, I guess. But yeah, I know. And then she's also been through some stuff too. I mean, she's she's she can give you advice as well. I mean, she's been through some stuff, and I'm sure she'll open up about some of that stuff in future episodes. But that's, really the point here, right? That's what we want to do here.
Yeah, and the thing is like, when I came onto the podcast, it wasn't my intention to permanently be here. I was just gonna come on every so often as a co-host, and but he convinced me, I guess, or I wouldn't say convinced.
Well, I wouldn't. No, I did want you to be a part of it. It's not like it was just gonna be me.
Right, and
I guess
I kind of figured that that's what the direction that you want to take
Eventually,
it,
yeah.
you know, just to be with you, like, by yourself.
But the people loved you so much. Here you are still.
Here I am. I have you all fooled. Mwahaha.
Send all gifts to P.O. Box.
No, but seriously, um, I'm kind of learning as I go. Joel's a little bit more experienced. I'm kind of just in the background,
Right.
enjoying the ride.
My years on the radio and back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s.
No, but
You're a natural.
yeah, I hear that all the time.
Your voice is very soothing, unlike mine, where it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Oh boy. No, but we really hope that you guys are, you know, getting something out of this, even if it's one listener or 100. You know,
Shoot, even
whatever.
if we crack corny jokes and you want to like bounce back with a corny joke of your own, I'm down. I like to laugh. I like to make people laugh. Some people look at me and wouldn't think that, but I do.
Yeah, I have what is that? RBF,
What's that?
resting bitch face.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that term before.
It's funny because I usually walk around with a doo-doo face,
Yeah,
you know,
with a doo-doo face.
but I'm actually very friendly. Like, it's just I have a lot
I'm
of
the
stuff in
same
my
way.
mind.
People
Yeah.
are surprised at how some people say I'm too friendly. I've been told, isn't that weird? Like some people have told me, like you're too nice. And I look at them like, what does that mean?
No, I
Like,
think you're too nice.
see, even my wife thinks that. I don't
You're
understand
just
how you can.
walking teddy bear. Like,
I don't understand how someone can be too nice.
I guess because we're
explain.
all just like desensitized, and you know, this world is cruel.
Look, my whole world, the way I see it, is like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That's how, I mean, Fred Rogers, like, that's how I, honestly, and in all seriousness, like, I think everyone should be kind to each other and just be nice and normal and like, and guys, I'm not that naive. I know the world ain't like that. I know it ain't like that.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, just see some of my coworkers and family members. But
No, but I'm the same way. I'm like a really nice person. I really am. You know, it just takes me a
there's people
while.
out there laughing.
No, I know, but
No, I'm just kidding.
you know,
It's so funny because when I met you, you were like, "Oh, I'm such a horrible person," and
but you know
I
what?
don't know what the heck are you talking about.
In the past, I have been a not so nice person at
I
times.
get you. Me neither.
I don't know, I just kind of carried that around with me for a long time that, you know, I'm not nice. I'm not, you know, I have to protect myself above everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like,
No,
you know, I always had, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just,
I've been there.
it was a defense mechanism. And, you know, as I've gotten older, it's gotten a little bit more
That
like,
is-
relaxed.
That is true. Like a lot of that stuff is just all it is a defense mechanism.
Yeah, because I remember, my mom always said that I was hot-headed when I was younger, and that's
Well,
true.
it says Latinos by default. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was special. Like,
I don't know you could take that in many ways.
no, but you know, it's taken me a lot to get to this point to where like I don't jump the gun so soon.
Oh, yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean?
I was the same way.
I've
yeah.
learned to just kind of sit back and let things happen the way that they're going to happen.
Yeah.
And I've learned that you cannot control those people around you. You can only control how you're going to react to it and your actions, you know?
Absolutely.
And some people aren't worth putting the effort into, you know? And it's like you learn as you get older.
I don't know why this popped into my head, but I used to work with this one guy, and I remember I'd be sitting at my desk and customers would come in or whatever, and you'd get occasionally your irate customer, right?
Yeah.
Just unbearable, unreasonable, whatever. So they would get to the point where they're, by the second, just getting more and more aggravated. This guy, actually there was two guys that were like this, wouldn't even react. They would just kind of stand there, and I'm just watching like man, I would have told this guy off already. But they just would just stare at the guy dead in the eye, let him just make a complete fool of himself. And then it like seemed like they made them more mad
Right.
that
Because
you
there's
weren't,
no feedback.
yeah, like you weren't like engaging in fisticuffs with them.
Right.
So one time I was kind of talking to him and I'm like, man, this guy, he came in, he was really like, you know, being a jerk and whatever. And he's like, I'm not gonna waste my energy
Yeah.
or my sanity or anything to engage with him. And then if anything, I won. I won this argument and I won this whatever this was by not even saying anything. Let him make a fool of himself. There's this, and then there's a saying that I recall once in a while: give a man enough rope, and he'll hang himself.
Right.
So I always try to think about that. It's like if they want to be upset, be upset. If you want to be the way you are, be the way you are. Like you're doing damage to yourself.
No, and the thing is, it's like not everybody wants to be saved. Not everybody wants to
Right.
be helped.
That's true.
And I've learned that,
Yep.
in dealing with people with substance abuse issues and, when I was, I guess, clean, you can call it, I would try to help people that were doing the same things that I was. And it was just like they weren't receptive to it. Like, and I learned then that you can't save everybody. Sometimes
That's true.
people just are on a course and they have to run that course.
Yeah, that is true.
And it hurt, because you see where they're headed
Where it's going, yeah.
and where it's going. And it's just like, I'm trying to help you, dork. Like, let me
Yeah.
help you. And it's just like, no, just,
That is very true, and I think that's some people's issue. Like, you can't save everybody.
no, you cannot.
Like, I'm not expecting, and if I help a few people, great. But I know some people aren't. I mean, they're just gonna continue the cycle
They
over and over.
are.
Right, but then at
No.
the same time, it's ultimately it's up to them.
Yeah.
It's not my, you know, Frank over here. It's not my job to make sure, Frank does what he's supposed to do, especially when you're a grown man or
Right.
you
And
know
the
what I mean.
thing that I've learned is like, okay, like, with people in my past, like when they were dealing with addiction,
Mm,
it's like, if you're hungry, I will feed you.
right,
If you're cold, I'll give you clothes.
right. I won't refuse you.
I will never refuse to help you, but the one
Right.
thing that I will not do
Enable.
is enable you.
Yep.
And that's the hardest part because it's just like you're trying to be a good person to them and to help them.
But you got to be careful too, because then they can manipulate you
Right.
or
And
use you.
that's where I was going with it. And then that just leads to a whole nother set of problems. And it's just like if the person isn't in the right mind frame and in the right, I guess, capacity of like using their logic,
Mhm.
no matter how much you try to change someone or to help someone or to do something for someone, it's not going to change them because they are who they are.
Right.
And sometimes you just have to let people fail.
So
You know?
what would you say? Would you say you have to be extra careful? You need to hold back. You need to tread lightly. That's kind of what we're saying, right?
You need to be careful when you help others. You have to
Well,
help
especially
yourself.
someone that's under substances, right? Because that's part of the thing where
Right.
they use you, manipulate you, or whatever.
Right, because again, they're not in the right mind frame. You have to remember that people that are addicted to substances or alcohol or anything of that, sort,
Mhm.
is that when they're manipulating you, when they're lying to you, when they're stealing from you, when they're doing wrong to you, it's not them. It's not
Right.
necessarily them in the right mind frame. It's the substances that they're using that are altering their thought, that they don't process things the way that a sober person would,
Right.
you know, and it's hard, you know, but that saying goes that you can't lead a horse to water, right?
You can lead a horse to water, but not make him drink.
Right, there we go.
Man.
And I guess that's the hardest part of letting go of friendships or family members that have gone through that or going through that, or, you know, is the fact that, you know, you couldn't help them, but it's not your responsibility.
Right.
Your responsibility is to be there for them emotionally and mentally, to be there for them, you know, and when they actually want the help, then you can, you know, help them.
Right.
But you have to help yourself first to be in the right mind frame to help somebody else.
That's a very good point. And I think that's a great way to lead into kind of what something we wanted to touch on today. I mean, we just want to put ourselves out there in order to, like, maybe strike a nerve with someone or touch someone or kind of make that little light bulb on the top of their head go off. So we're willing to put ourselves out there. I mean, like I said before, this I was afraid to do this podcast for a long time, but the more the time goes on, I'm glad I did. But both Glow and I are willing to put ourselves out there, willing to be a open ear or whatever to listen, and you know, whatever little advice we can give, if it helps you out, great. If I mean, if it if it doesn't help you out, I mean, we're here. I mean, you wanna, or maybe if you want to forget about it for a minute. But Glow brought up a good point about we need to help ourselves in order to help others. So one thing we have to do is stop our abusing ourselves,
Yes.
right? And that goes for, you know, physically. I mean, people abuse themselves physically. It's not always people doing the damage to you.
Right.
And a big one is abusive self-talk.
Right.
So, I mean, that's people don't realize how damaging that could be.
No, and a lot of times, you know, when we're talking to our friends who are in hard situations or, you know, going through something tough, what do we tell them? You know, be good to yourself, be kind to yourself, take time for yourself, take care of yourself. You're a good person. You know, the list goes on and on and on. But when it comes to us and our mistakes, we are so hard on ourselves. We don't talk to ourselves like we talk to our friends.
Right.
You know, it's always, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm embarrassing, I shouldn't have done that. And it's just like,
That is very true. You don't
Right.
talk to other people
you don't
like
talk
that.
to
Yeah.
people like that. I don't talk to people like that. You know, unless you piss me off, then that's a different story. you
And you
know?
get cussed out. Yeah.
But in a general sense, we don't talk to other people like that, you know?
hmm
And it's, mm, I, I want to say that when I was going through a depression, like, it was probably the worst I've ever been.
hmm
And I knew it was bad because it was just like the day just went on. Like, there was no pause. It was just like I was going through the motions
Yeah.
and I was having these suicidal thoughts. And it wasn't me, it was the depression. It was um a brain injury that I had incurred. It was everything else. And that was like the darkest moment in my life because I had to depend on other people. I do not depend on anybody. I have been
Very misindependent.
very independent since I can reach the stove. Like, you know, I've been always an independent person. So for me to bow down and say, help me, I can't do this anymore. This is what I'm thinking.
Right.
And it's like, you know, you don't realize it, you know, that you do it to yourself. And it sometimes, you know, if you don't catch it early enough, especially if you have a tendency to have depression, it can get bad,
Yes.
you know. And like I said, I would never, ever, ever, you know, unalive myself now that I'm in like the right frame of mind. But
Admittedly, I've had the same issue with the thoughts, and I would never go through with it. I don't think I would ever go through with it.
the point where I caught myself was after I went to go see a neurologist and a neuropsychologist, which are two different doctors. Um, the neurologist he's like, you need to go, get tested. We need to do MRIs and your brain scans and all that. He's like, because you're just not.
You were off.
I was off. I was like
Yeah.
completely night and day, from what I normally am. And I went to go talk to the neuropsychologist, and they like did this test that was like 4 hours long, and I was like so agitated.
Oh,
And I remember that he told me, he's like, you have what did they call it? I can't remember, but it's he said you have like massive depression, and to me, I didn't even realize that it was depressed.
mhm.
And it was because I was in this hole for so long that it was just like
Became the norm.
it
Right?
became the norm. Like I didn't even realize it.
Right.
And then he asked me, would you ever or have you ever thought of unaliving yourself? You know? And I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And then he's like, how often? I was like, well, it wasn't always like this, like after my injury, and I was explaining it to him.
Right.
And then I remembered, like, crap, if I tell him the truth, they're going to put me in the hospital. They're going to put me on a hold,
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. Because he asked me, he's like, why haven't you done it? Or what is stopping you? And I was like, because it hurts.
Mm.
And he's like, yeah, it hurts your family and stuff. I was like, no, I'm talking about it's going to hurt me to do it. And then I thought about it and I was like, you're right. He's like, that hurts. It doesn't.
Yeah, that
It doesn't
affects
only
everyone.
hurt you.
Yeah.
It hurts your family.
Everyone, yeah.
And I think that was the point where I was like, okay, yeah, I definitely need help. Like that's when, like the aha moment, like, man, this is not me talking. This is not my personality. And I just remember it's like the self-negative talk. Just this. It sucks. And it's like you don't realize that you're like in that like mental state until like you reach out and like talk to people.
Mhm.
And it was like as soon as I started, opening up and, asking my family for help, like, I can't do this anymore, guys. Like it's like you guys either help me or you guys are gonna help, find my body somewhere, And it was just like I had never felt that depressed in my life, and that was probably the lowest I had ever felt. And not having the right people around me at that time wasn't helping.
Mm.
And it was just like when I started talking to my sister and I was talking to, my cousins, and I just opened up and I was like, I need help. Like,
Right.
I can't do this anymore. The support that I got from like people that I never even expected to like pull me out or to help me were the ones that were helping me. And the people that I thought were going to help me and be by my side and like pull me out or like help me in some way, not financially. I never asked for anybody for it, anything like that. But I'm talking more like emotional and mental at that point.
Right.
And yeah, it was just like an eye-opening experience. Like I came out so much better on the other end, and when I start to slip back into like that dark space, I always remind myself that I do have people around me who like genuinely care. Not because of what I can give to them or what can I provide for them or what can they benefit from me or vice versa. It's genuine people who like genuinely love you and me and
Yeah, there is somebody
there
out there that's
is.
willing to help you.
Right. You just have to reach out,
Right. Yeah, you need to want the help.
Right. And if you don't ask for it, people don't know that you're going through things.
Yeah, so you have to search for the help, and you have to just be kind to yourself, because who else is going to be kind to you,
Nobody.
right?
And I always say you have to be your biggest cheerleader.
You have to.
You have to be your own cheerleader.
Yeah.
I don't depend on Joel all the time to, cheer me up. Sometimes I have to do it myself.
That's not true. I'm like a barrel of monkeys over here.
But
I am always putting a smile on her face.
no, but you know what I'm saying though. You know what I mean? Sometimes it has to come from within me to want to be happy
Yeah.
or to find a reason to be happy. Like,
Right.
It's hard being like happy all the time,
And let's face it, no one's going to be happy all the time.
No.
No.
People think that just because I'm a goofball, I'm always laughing and like.
Even if you reach, nirvana, or
Right.
like you figure it out, right? Like, okay, I've seen all this self-love stuff, self-improvement, whatever, and I got what I need. This is how I'm going to live my life now. I will, well, I don't have money, but I would bet money that you're not going to be happy every day.
No.
And that
It's unrealistic to think
right, and that the
you're gonna be
stuff you
happy.
learn is not gonna like work every day.
No, it's not going to apply to every situation either.
Yeah, I mean,
Sometimes you can't smile your problems away. Like,
No.
they're still there.
yeah, they're still gonna be there, but yeah, I mean, you need the one to help, and then you gotta be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. You gotta stop with negative talk, and just me. I'm guilty of this self-deprecation. Right, I'm constantly like basically roasting myself, but some would argue that that's not good. I do it to kind of be funny or like whatever, but and I mean I guess I try to like be a little more careful with it, but there's a lot of key aspects of abusive self-talk and stuff like that, which would be like constant criticism, which I'm sure a ton of people out there listening go through. I'm sure Gloria does.
Mm-hmm.
The self-deprecating attitude or self-deprecation, which guilty of that. I'm sure people out there are, probably not to the degree of some. Emotional self-harm. I mean, your emotions take a hit for sure. You become everything has to be perfect, or perfectionism. I'm guilty of that, to the point I think where I believe I have OCD. I've never been diagnosed with it, but I
It's
have.
the worst combination of our personalities because Joel is very
Oh yeah,
A to B to C, and I am all over the place. I get things done, but it takes a little bit
Facts.
longer.
all over the place.
I am all over the
I'm
place.
constantly behind her, closing windows, doors, picking up stuff, putting stuff back where it goes. Yeah, she was put on this planet. That's her purpose here, to make sure that she drives me nuts or keeps me nuts. I don't know.
I keep him on his toes. Shut up.
Yeah, she's like a training whatever. All right, so yeah, along with the perfectionism, of course, your mental health takes a hit, and I mean that your mental health is like people think physical health all the time. They don't think mental.
No.
Mental health's a big deal.
Right. And one affects the other.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
it does.
Yeah, because if you're anxious all the time and you're like worrying and just all this stuff, I mean, stress will kill you.
Oh,
It's
for
like
sure.
it's like a proven thing.
Yeah.
People having heart attacks and strokes and like health problems, and I mean people don't realize that. I mean, stress is a bad thing.
Yeah. That's actually happened to me. Um It was crazy because at the time I used to work so many hours when I first started getting into the medical field,
Mhm.
and that is one job that is always in high demand. You're always going to have work, you're always going to work long hours. And I was working like 16-hour shifts off for like 8 hours, and then I would go back to another 16. And this was just like 5, 6 days a week, so I was constantly working. On top of that, I was still going to school at the time. Um, and I remember that I had gotten home and I was just so stressed out. I had stopped by Dairy Queen and I had gotten a snow cone or some kind of thing, and I was just like studying,
Mhm.
and it was like 2 in the morning. And I just remember looking at the clock and being like, oh man, I gotta get up in like 3 hours.
Mm.
And that was it. I got up and I collapsed,
Wow.
and I ended up having my lungs collapsed, and it was just like my body just basically said no.
Just shut down.
It just shut down. I had to go to the hospital and the ambulance, and it was just like this whole big thing. And it was a mixture of having a panic attack and then my body just being like, we're done. Like that was it. And on top of that, I had an asthma attack. So it was just like this big thing. My body was like, oh hell no, we're not. We're done.
Yeah, panic attacks are not fun. I
No.
occasionally will still have a panic attack. Although I know in the last recent ones I've had, I was able to kind of control it a little better than I used to. But yeah, they're not fun.
I heard recently that sometimes if you're having a panic attack, if you put something sour
I
or
tried that.
spicy in your
Yeah.
mouth, it kind of deflects and it redirects you.
Well, yeah, your brain gets like shocked, like, hey, what's going on here?
Right, and it kind of gets distracted.
Yeah.
I don't, it's been a long time since I had my body shut down like that.
Mhm.
That happened like years ago. I was probably like 21, 22, something like that.
Well,
Maybe even a little older. And I just remember like, that was it. From then on, it was just like, okay, you know what? I don't need to work all of these hours. I don't need to constantly be on the
yeah,
go.
just take care of yourself.
I need to sleep.
Life ain't that serious.
It's not that serious.
Right.
It's not. And if you
Not
don't
worth your
no,
life.
and if you don't take care of yourself, your body will shut down and take,
It will tell you.
it will tell you
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hey, you need to slow down.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Definitely will.
Yeah. So I mean, along with that, so what do we do to address all of this stuff? Well, first of all, I mean, you gotta recognize, like you were just saying, recognize what's going on and what's around you, what's causing your stress, what's causing the negative thoughts and stuff like that. And then we have to be nice to ourselves, be kind to ourselves, and self compassion, and practice that.
Talk to yourself like you talk to your best friend or
Right,
your
like,
sibling or
so you
yeah.
want to replace all that negative stuff with positive stuff. So instead of saying, "Oh, I'm dumb," say, "Oh, I'll figure this out," or "I'm smart enough to figure this out," or you know what I mean? Like replace the negative stuff with positive stuff.
Right. You kind of have to redirect your own thinking because you have to remember that the person that's in control of your thoughts is you.
Exactly.
And if you don't stop it and nip it in the bud where it starts, you're gonna lose control, and then you're gonna give into that
And then
whole
it's
negativity.
yeah,
Right.
the mess just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and before you know it, you're in a hole. And
Yeah,
it's
you
just like,
got a deeper hole to dig out of.
right.
Yeah. And we've said this before. I mean, there's no shame in asking for professional help. So if you guys need to go to a psychiatrist, psychologist, uh, life coach,
Social
anyone,
worker, anybody.
social
Right.
worker, there's no shame. Go for it. I mean, you can also ask a family member, a good friend, or whatever. That's great too. But sometimes you kind of do need that little extra thing.
Right.
And I mean, sometimes maybe you need some medication that'll help you.
Or sometimes even just distancing yourself from whatever you're going through will give you that space that you need to kind of redirect yourself and, center yourself to where you're like, okay, I can handle this.
Yeah, you need to take a mental break. That's
Yeah.
what they're calling it, right?
Nap.
Yeah, Yeah, nap. Just nap. Do what Glow tells you. Just nap. It'll be fine.
But in all seriousness, if things get too overwhelming, try to find some outlet.
Yes, anything.
Art, sports, music, whatever.
YouTube, TikTok,
Right.
whatever.
Just be sure to take care of yourself, because nobody's going to take care of you like you are going to take care of yourself.
Exactly. So I think we'll leave it there for today. And like I said, I didn't mean to get all serious. And although we want to talk about these things, right? That's kind of why we're here. And hopefully, I kind of got the point across why we're doing this, what's the point, all that stuff. But I really do appreciate you guys out there that are tuning in and listening. And please, like I said, we're people just like you guys listening. We go through the same things. We have struggles. We have stresses. I mean, I'm not by any means perfect. There's days I was going to say pull my hair out, but I got no hair. Well, I do have a beard. But there's days where I think life sucks. All right. I'm not even gonna candy coat it. But I mean, you'll get through it. And it's all about how you deal with it, right?
Yes.
So yeah, like we can all do it, and together, I think, makes our chances better.
Yes.
Right. All right. So guys, I appreciate you guys as always. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, and please visit the website, the blog, at sessionsandlessonsunscripted.com. You can check some stuff out there, like some articles or write-ups that I've done, things we've discussed on the podcast. Sometimes we'll put like funny stuff on there, like funny stuff we've talked about. Shoot, if you guys want us to post something on there, if you want to write an article, I'm down to publish it on my website. If you want to share something, hey, feel free. Like I said, we're here. We're here to for you guys. So yeah, visit the blog, and if you have any messages or anything, email us sessions and lessons unscripted, or I'm sorry, sessions and lessons mail at gmail.com. There you could drop us a line, whatever you want. And don't forget to visit the socials, the TikToks, the YouTubes, the what other ones? Facebook, Blue Sky, X, Twitter, X.
I don't know.
I don't know what people call it, whatever.
We're on pretty much all platforms.
Pretty much
at
all
this
of them.
point. Yeah.
And as far as the podcast, you can listen on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio.
I think we're available
YouTube,
across the board.
the moon.
Yeah.
I think we're on the moon.
Sure. Whatever.
I know probably Saturn for sure. I don't know. I'm just being a dork.
All right, guys. It's been fun.
All right. So thanks for listening. Please spread the word. Let other people know that this is your favorite podcast, right?
Definitely.
Yes. Let them know, and then spread the word. Let them all know. And we will catch you on the next episode. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.